Hey guys, welcome to the 1-on-1 in 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world 1-on-1 in 10 minutes. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson, and we are back with a brand new artist for this week. She has this creative type of funky sound. She has this artistic view as well to her music and to her visual art of her music, as she just expressed herself visually and emotionally, artistically, and I just love all her songs, and we're going to talk about that momentarily. But without further ado, let us help welcome the creative, smart, intelligent, extraordinaire, Miss Dallin Applebaum.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell us how you got started as an artist and who were your musical influences growing up?
Sure. I played classical piano, like that was my thing when I was like a kid.
Ooh.
And then at a certain point, classical is very restrictive in a lot of ways. It's beautiful and it's expressive, but you're obviously like playing somebody else's music and there's a lot of rules. So I remember when I was like, I was young. I was like 9 years old. I started like, oh, what if I try this, and started writing my own songs. And then the real like breakthrough moment was was the eighth grade talent show, and I wanted to impress a boy, so I got on stage and sang this song and kind of made a fool out of myself, but I didn't care.
I love it. I love the fact that you were 8 years old and you were able to get on stage and start singing, because most people who are 8 or in that age bracket, you're like, oh, heck no, we're just going to take this crush and just keep it with us. But you had some type of passion, and the music was your passion that kind of gave you that sense of, come on, the boy was the motivation, but the music was the passion. So that helped you at 8 years old to really come into what you are as an artist today. So if you didn't take that step at 8, you would never become who you are. Yeah. So I mean, that's a great thing. So thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
very unique way of how you really became, like, started to get into the industry as a musical artist. So you mentioned classical was your beginning passion, and then it evolved into something else, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I listened to like a lot of my parents' classic rock when I was super young. And then, as a teenager, I was into all different sorts of songwriters and bands and stuff. Really liked Patty Griffin.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but then like on the opposite, I was like really like into Incubus and Sublime and like a bunch of those 90s bands. I kind of grew up in the late 90s, so Tori Amos, Fiona Apple, like all those icons are just huge influences. But then I also, I didn't really discover like a lot of like Nina Simone and Leonard Cohen and those older songwriters until much later. But they definitely it all combines and influences.
That's great. And I love the fact that you have so much uh variations of influences. Like, even though you started with classical, you went to classical rock, and then you went to more of the grudge, more metal type of stuff as well. So that helped catapult you into who you are as an artist, and you definitely could see it in your music and also in just the visual portion of it, with the albums, with the singles that you have as well. And I think that's what makes you the creative artist that you are as well. And I see the paintings in the back and the guitar in the back as well. So let's talk a little bit about your success stories as an artist
Okay.
and some of your challenges. Can you tell us what are some of the successes as being an independent artist, and are some of your challenges as well?
Um, well, I think success is like I have had a lot of different projects and they've all had their own successes and challenges. For example, like I have this pseudonym that I write under, Elise Sandell, and that's like my pop outlet. Like it's very girly pop kind of stuff. And I have a song called "I'm That Girl," and it made some waves. It got onto a commercial for the 2018 Women's Olympic team,
Wow.
which was like surprising but also awesome. And but the challenge with that particular project, it was just I did everything myself on a really low budget, and with like some time constraints. So I was like, I was single at the time, and I was like up till 3 a.m. for a couple months and kind of delivering these songs to this company that then put them out in the world.
Wow, that's
um,
great.
with this particular project, I think the challenge so far has been uh, really like I set a goal to just like be 100% expressive of like what I wanted. I didn't want any influence of like, this will look good on TikTok or, or whatever that world is. I just wanted to like get it out. So that's been a success, I think, so far. I've just been able to be clear about my intentions. The challenge, I mean, that's also a challenge too. It's kind of two-headed. And I think that the challenge is getting it out into the world, just getting people to listen to a full song is really challenging into 2022.
I think that's great. When you said some really key things. Staying true to yourself, I think, is very authentic, it's very organic, and which is really real. And I think it's great that you, as an artist, have your own voice and you can actually say, well, I really don't, I'm not really saying I don't care, but you're not trying to get the likes or the viewings just based off of popular culture and what they're doing. You're trying to stay true to yourself and to your music and to your craft. And I think as an artist, it's very challenging for most artists to do that, especially when you're, independent artists and you may not have making the millions of dollars or thousands of dollars as other popular cultural artists, or you haven't had your break yet. So it's good that you're able to really know who you are as a person and as an artist as well, to really say, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I want to, put out there into the universe. Because there's so many people who can feel your music and have been through what you're going through. And just because we don't see those people and know those people doesn't mean that they're not going through similar trials and tribulations or have gone through them as well. You're able to really, artists and other fans and people are able to really feel it through your music. Now let's talk about your song "Till Death Do Us Part."
Yeah.
How did you come up with the concept for that song, and what were some of the inspirations?
Well, I had this like little note in my notebook from a while ago with like little tidbits of the lyrics from the chorus. Like, I heard my own ego telling its old story. And that came from living in New York for 15 years and really kind of getting caught up in that, wanting to be famous and wanting to like, hang with like, these super crazy famous musicians. And yeah, so I COVID hit and I actually moved to New Jersey only for a year. And during that time, I was like reflecting on my time in New York because I'd been there for so long. And I came across that lyric and I was like, it's this weird thing where I miss being there, but I can't live there right now. Like it's this push and pull, you miss the chaos. But that was then and this is now kind of thing. Yeah, so it's kind of this reflective love story with a city, really, with a place, and I hope that it's not just limited to New York. Like people that listen to it can like relate to like any time in their life where they had to leave somewhere,
Correct. I think, yeah, it's definitely relatable. I mean, as you are talking, I'm thinking about some of the things just in my own life experiences that, anytime we end things, there's always new beginnings, and we're always going through that push pull type of thing, back and forth, making sure we made the right decision. And yeah, definitely, it's definitely a time of reflection, but also a time of new beginnings when I hear "Until Death Do Us Part" as well.
Yeah.
I just love it. And let's talk a little bit about the artwork.
Yeah.
So how did you get the inspiration for the artwork? How you pronounce this? This is Des Res?
Yeah, yeah. Desres, that's a funny like little British real estate term. It means it is desirable residence.
Oh.
And that is it just sounded good. And it was what I was writing that song about at the time, which was like having a hard time. These two songs are about a lot about like where you're living. That's Desres is about having a hard time finding a good place to call home. But yeah, so the artwork for that was just taken from, it was a photograph that I took of, or someone took of me walking down a hallway in New York.
Oh.
And if you look on the mat next to one of the doors, it says, oh my God, now I'm like totally, and I have to look exactly to see what it says because I'm drawing a blank because I've only had one cup of coffee today and I'm a coffee.
No, yeah, we're blaming on coffee.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it looks bigger from the inside. That's what the mat actually says. Then I took that and like I kind of processed it and made it into this like watercolor looking thing. It was just a lot of fun to kind of put that together. I knew for Till Death and for the album cover and for maybe one or two other songs that I'm going to be releasing, I have a couple friends who are painters. So the album cover for Till Death is actually my friend painted that.
Oh wow, it's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, she's awesome. Her name's Danielle Fortier.
Definitely got to follow her.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. No, that's a great concept of the painting, and then also the music that goes with that as well.
Yeah.
So can you tell everyone how can they follow you and book you for upcoming events and shows?
Sure. Yeah. Instagram, Facebook. I am not on. I am on TikTok, but I'm not there usually. So Instagram, Facebook, or email, best way to get in touch. But definitely check out my music. I post on Instagram a lot. It's just at Dallin Applebaum, DALLIN APPLEBAUM. Gotta spell it out.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Dallin, for being on the show. I really enjoyed the interview. I learned so much about your facet of music and love for music and art and creativity and really staying true to your true self and finding your own voice. And that is what artists need to hear and people need to hear as well. And that's across the board. So thank you and blessings to you, my dear, as you continue to do great work with your music. I'm looking forward to hearing more music in 2023. And thank you guys for tuning into the 101 and 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world 101 in 10 minutes. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson. I look forward to seeing you next time. And have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.